Well, here's something to make your sphincter pucker. If your entire voiceover business exists in your inbox and your audition folders, guess what, son? You're not running a business. You're surviving gig to gig with no safety net. Imagine building a skyscraper on a foundation of sand. No structure, no foundation, just praying it stays upright for one more project. And that's where most voice actors, most creatives live, quietly hoping for that big break. But the world's most successful creatives, the ones who turn pro full-time, the ones who work with dream clients, the ones who command premium rates, aren't necessarily the most talented. They're the ones who build repeatable systems. Systems for marketing, for finding clients, for setting rates, for getting paid, for protecting their brand, and for scaling way beyond just talent alone. And I know because I was in your shoes for the better part of 20 years, juggling VO gigs between a day job and never really believing that full-time voiceover was in the cards for me. It took burnout, a lost client, and a revelation to finally wake me up and get me to smell the coffee. But until you start systematizing and stop improvising, your VO business is never going to grow beyond a glorified hobby. This is your roadmap. This is the 7 foundational systems every voice actor and creative pro must have to go full-time. By the way, stick around because we've got a great free resource for you at the end. It's called our VoiceOver Systems Quick Wins Guide. It's a way for you to set these 7 systems in place quickly inside of 1 week. Now, the truth is, up until the time I went full-time several years ago, I was auditioning in the car, I was recording in the closet, I was slapping together invoices at 10 o'clock at night. Every month was like spinning the roulette wheel. It was either feast or famine. Now, the big breakthrough didn't come from a huge client or from a viral gig. It came, actually, from getting my ass handed to me. My biggest client at the time texted me and said, "You're all over the road. We need somebody more professional."
Ouch, baby. Very ouch.
You bet your ass. Necessary? Absolutely. That night and the following morning, I began to map out everything I did in my business, every single thing. Finding work, following up, networking, quoting, tracking payments, all of it. And I realized I had 0 systems, which meant I had to build them fast. Fast forward a few months later, I'm booking more gigs, I'm doing a lot less grunt work, and I'm starting to think and act like a real business. And here's how you can too. First, your marketing system. If you think marketing is only for huge corporations and fast-talking sales pros, no. As a voice actor, your brand is how the world finds you and remembers you. Without a clear, systematized approach to presenting yourself online, you are completely invisible outside of maybe the pay-to-plays. Define your positioning, your voiceover superpower, and audit your online presence at least twice a year, ideally quarterly. Your demo reels, your website, your LinkedIn profile, even your email signatures. Couple key tools: you can use Canva or Adobe Express if you have the Adobe Creative Suite. It's free. Squarespace or Wix or a like platform for your website. And Publer or Only Social are some good, cheap, affordable social media publishing tools. The busiest, most booked full-timers don't sit back and wait for jobs, guys. They engineer their own demand by building a repeatable outreach system. Daily DMs, daily emails based on templates built from your client avatars. A daily outreach goal, and experimenting with new markets at least quarterly. Medical narration, e-learning, corporate training, whatever it might be that you want to get into. Block yourself a set time each week, ideally every damn day, for warm outreach, cold outreach, and content updates. And then track your progress in a CRM, which we'll talk about in just a second. You can use HubSpot Sales Free, VoiceOver View. There's a bunch of them out there. It doesn't really matter which one you use as long as you use one. System number 2. lead gen. Casting sites do not build voiceover careers. They rent you opportunities. Now, at our signature course, the VO Freedom Master Plan, we teach direct email outreach so that you decide who you reach out to, when you reach out to them, and how often. No algorithms, no hoping and praying, no auditions as a lifestyle. And here's how we systematize it. First, you don't sit back and wait to be discovered, because being discovered is a myth. You build clean, qualified lists of real-world decision makers, ad agencies, brands, production houses, based on who actually hires voice talent. But before you send the first single email, you need to clearly define who you're talking to and why they should care. And when your targeting is pinpoint accurate, your outreach feels personal, even at scale. This isn't email marketing as you understand it. It's short, relevant, one-to-one human emails sent directly to decision makers using tools like Apollo. I'll put the link in the description, right to the people that can hire you. Now, it's one thing to reach out. It's another thing to track that outreach. Track every email, every direct message, every follow-up, every booking in your CRM. That way, you know, when looking back at that data, what messaging works, which industries and avatars respond well, and where your next jobs are actually coming from. Now, in the VOFMP, we reach out to prospects every damn day. Consistent volume, measured results, documented progress. Referrals stack on top of that outreach, and suddenly your pipeline isn't a fragile little piece of glass. Your goal in direct outreach isn't just more auditions, it's predictable conversations with buyers. System number 3, client acquisition and onboarding. Stop treating every single inquiry like a job interview. Instead, systematize your discovery calls and your client onboarding. Scripted intake forms where you collect their needs, the project details, and the budget. Make yourself a discovery call checklist and automated follow-ups. Make yourself templates for those emails that go out after the onboarding call, after the inquiry, so that you're not reinventing the wheel every time you do the work. Systematically track each contact's client journey in your CRM and make sure you don't let those one-and-done gigs slip through the cracks. Use that CRM to set yourself reminders for follow-up so that you stay top of mind with the people that already like working with you. System number 4, workflow and project automation. A repeatable project workflow keeps you focused on performing and not just chasing paperwork all over the place. Use project management tools. They're sometimes called digital Kanban boards like Trello or Asana or Notion, and set up your job phases: audition, job submitted, won or lost, invoicing, delivery, follow-up. Automate your file storage and your backups, whether you use Google Drive or Dropbox or iCloud. Doesn't really matter. Pick one and use it. And lastly, create yourself a set of quick access templates for proposals, for P2P submissions, and for quotes. And here's my pro tip, and this one saves me a bunch of time at the end of the month. When you send the files, send your invoice, and then schedule your admin days or half days, however you want to do it, whether it's once a week, once a month, it doesn't matter as long as it's consistent and you don't skip them. And then that way you don't let the admin work, the grunt work, kill your creative work and your creative flow. System 5, rate setting and invoice generation. Now, come on, folks, let's get it together. It's time to ditch the random guesswork quoting and rate setting. Systematize your rates and your invoicing. Reference and established rate guide like the GVAA or Gravy for the Brain or any other, and use it consistently. Use tools like PayPal, QuickBooks, FreshBooks, Wave, there's a bunch of them out there for sending your invoices, tracking your payments, and for chasing down late pays. And lastly, always include late fees in your quotes and in your contracts, and set a timeline for reminders for those slow and late pay clients. And finally, once a year, usually at the end of the year, but it could be in January, build in some time to review your rates every single year and update them as your skills and your market value continue to grow. System number 6, your online presence. That's your website and your SEO system. Now, a great website will do most of your marketing heavy lifting for you, especially when you pair it with SEO strategies tailored specifically for voice actors. If you don't have a website, build yourself a quick one-page website with your demos front and center. I shouldn't have to scroll for them. Testimonials if you have them, and a simple, easy contact form. Just get the basics of SEO done. Research the best search keywords for your business. Might be medical voiceover talent, voice actor for explainer videos, commercial voice talent in your city. And finally, start a resources or a blogs section. You'll own more Google space, you'll cast a wider net. But if you choose to blog, you have to be consistent. If that's twice a month, fine, but it's got to be twice every month. And finally, set a quarterly date to review your SEO plan. Update relevant pages, resubmit them to Google, and check your search rankings. And finally, system number 7. Business structure and productivity. Now, if you plan to make voiceover your business, if you plan to ask other businesses for money, you have to protect yourself legally and financially. Set up a legal LLC or other business structure. Now, in most states, this cost is minimal. It does get pricey in some states, but there's a massive upside in tax advantages and asset protection. This is not legal advice, and you should consult your attorney, your CPA, or your tax accountant for more information. And you want to open a business bank account, track your expenses using bookkeeping software, and make sure you file your quarterly taxes. The idea is to detach yourself both financially and mentally from your business. And every January, make sure you review your business setup. That includes your contracts, your insurance, and your retirement planning. Success doesn't mean burning out, guys, but it does mean working smart. Create yourself a productivity stack designed for your creative energy. I can't say this enough. Time block your calendar. Set time aside for auditions, for production, for admin tasks, for creative thinking time. Track your business goals and your creative goals every single week. And finally, you can use tools to help you focus like Brain.fm, Notion, or even Pomodoro timers. If you don't know what those are, Google them. Now, how can these systems help you in your business? I'll give you but one example. When I finally put together a real onboarding and client workflow that included follow-up, the results weren't just immediate, they were even better. One client kind of got away from me after a sort of 6-7 first project. But instead of letting that go, my follow-up system kicked in. A thank you note, a testimonial request, and I checked in with them about their new campaign. Took a little while, but 2 months later, they were back. You were the only pro who followed up. Do you want to be on our roster? That's the power of repeatable systems. They generate every single lucky break with habits that make so-called luck repeatable. So, your next steps. How do you build and actually use these 7 systems? Well, here's where most people kind of screw the pooch. First of all, don't try to build all these systems in a day. You're just going to overwhelm yourself and default back to chaos and mayhem. Start with the system that's causing you the most pain right now. Is it disorganized marketing? Are you chasing payments? Are you missing leads? Can you not find your files easily? Build one simple workflow, test it, and then move on to the next one. Now, I've got 2 ways you can attack this. One is the quick guide that we talked about earlier. It's our VO Systems Quick Wins Guide, which will let you set up basic, simple systems, all 7 of them, inside of a week. Or you can choose to take our 90-day systems challenge. It's free. There's nothing to pay for. You just do it on your own. First month, you fix your outreach and lead gen systems and commit to reaching out to a set number of contacts, whether that's per week or per day. Month number 2, you organize your project workflow automation and your project management. And in month number 3, you level up your website, your invoicing practices, and your website presence. And this might be the most important step of all. Celebrate each new win, no matter how small. A system that runs at 50, 60, 75% is way better than one that runs on chaos. Start now. Optimize later. The secret here is, guys, that the pros, the folks that are constantly booked, they're not somehow superhuman or better than you or quote-unquote luckier. They run their business on systems that you just haven't put into place yet. Systems turn mayhem and chaos into a professional business that runs smoothly and is scalable. It's time to build that professional business you've always dreamed of. If you're ready to really take this thing up a notch, to break free from the random gigs, the unpredictability, and build a full-time, thriving VO business, I'm begging you, start with just one system today. Now, if this video brought you some value, if you learned something, if it made you question your own systems, please help us help some other folks and share this video with them. Whether that's on social media, whether you subscribe to the YouTube channel, give us a like, give us a follow if you're following us on the audio podcast. The more we share strategies, tips, tricks, systems, the better, stronger industries we're going to have for our clients, for ourselves, and the better businesses we're going to have for our families. Thanks so much, and we will see you back here real soon.